everybody. My name is Shelby Simmons, and I am back with another workshop for you guys. So my previous workshops I have done are called healing through writing, and this one is called Goal Setting for Authors, and I also have a workshop called Tell Your Own Story. So if you have seen three, because I've done this workshop before, then kudos to you. Thank you for your support. And if this is your first time, I hope you enjoy and learn something today. So today we're going to talk about SMART goals for authors. SMART goals are pretty simple, but we're going to really get them down pat for all of you new and aspiring authors. So we're going to start with the first letter of SMART, which is the letter S. S stands for specific. So we need to be specific with our goals, right? For example, setting a publishing date for your book and then working backwards from that date to work on your projects is the easiest way I feel to work on your project. That's also the easiest way I feel to work on goals as well. So once you know what the big thing is, then you can work backwards to achieve that thing. May not make sense to you, but when you try it, it does make sense, right? So make sure that whatever goals you set are as specific as possible. For example, if you say that you want to lose weight, that's not really saying anything to anybody because, first of all, how much do you currently weigh? How much weight do you want to lose? What is your goal weight? What are you eating? What are you doing now to try to lose weight? Those are all the things you need to specifically sit down and write down and look at before you could say, I'm going to lose weight. So we're also going to talk about why numbers and dates and times and days of the week are important in setting your goals. But for right now, we're talking about being specific. So you need to be very, 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 very specific. Just the same way we need to be specific with the type of spouse or partner that we want to meet. You don't go around just saying, oh, I want a boyfriend, I want a girlfriend. Well, some people do. But if you go around saying you want a boyfriend and girlfriend, you manifest that in the air, you're just going to get in your body. You want to say and put out in the atmosphere specifically what it is that you want to do. So the next part of SMART goals is the M. M is for measurable. So as I was saying, how will you measure your success as an author? How will you measure the fact that you lost weight? So if you don't know what your goal weight is, the weight that you want to be, and you don't know what you currently weigh, then you're not going to be able to accurately measure how much weight you lost. So it's the same thing with being an author. How will you measure your success as an author? Are you going to measure your success as an author by the number of book sales that you make? That's how some people do measure their success. Other people measure their success by the number of readers they have or the people they engage with. But are you going to measure their success by the number of interviews you had? So you need to find a way to measure your success and how successful you are with your book projects. Some people measure the length of time that they've been in the industry, the length of events that they've been to. You guys get the gist that measurable has to do with numbers. You need to be able to see a number to tell that either you've been successful or you haven't been successful. So the same thing for artists, music artists, the number of record sales determine whether they're successful or not. The same thing with TV actors and movies. The number of movie sales determine whether the movie was successful or not. So if you don't not have any numbers, then you need to sit down and figure out what your numbers are to determine how to measure your success. And remember, it is your success. It's nobody else's success. So what you deem to be successful, it is what it is. What somebody else deems successful, it is what it is for them. Everybody has their own definition of success. So now we are talking about being reasonable with our goals. R is for reasonable. We need to be very reasonable. SMA. Attainable. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm just not being able to spell properly today. So SMA, we are an A. Being able to attain your goals. What does attainable mean? Is your goal attainable? If you set a goal to publish a book in February 2024 and your first draft is not done, your goal is most likely not going to be succeed based on today's date, which is November, which is the first week in November. So you need to set goals based on deadlines and timing that you know you can achieve. So if you are an aspiring author and we are in November, the very first week of November, you want to publish a book in February, I do not advise you to do that because, first of all, you might not have a first draft done. Even if you do, editing takes about 60 to 90 days, depending on your editor and depending on what you want done to your book and how much it needs to be done to your book. So having a February deadline, February is right around the corner. It is less than 3 months away. That's not going to happen. So be realistic with your goals. Find and look for the editors that you want to work with, the people that you want to work with, and ask them what's their turnaround time. That way you could determine what your turnaround time would be to have your whole book completed. So that's what attainable means. The next one is relevance. Your goal should be in alignment with what you want, not what others want. So this whole thing is about you. You. Make it about you. Do not concentrate or think about anybody else. This is your project and you need to be okay with what's going on with your project. If you want to write one book, then do that. If you want to write a series, then do that. Do not allow other people to set goals that are not aligned with you. Relevant is the word. So some people you might write a standalone book that is just one book, one and done. And other people might be like, well, you should send this into the series or this should be a movie. Is that what you want to do? Because we need to make things make sense. Maybe you were not thinking about making this into a series. Now you really have to sit down and think about it. Is this really this one book going to stretch into several other books? Maybe not. Don't let people push their own agendas onto you. Whatever you're doing in your project or your career as an author, let it be relevant to you and align to you. So that is R. Now we're going to talk about the last letter of the day, which is T, and that is timely. Timely goes with measurable. So timely means that we should set realistic deadlines with a date. Someday, tomorrow, next week, are not dates in the calendar. People think that they are, but they really are not, because where do you see on the calendar that there's Sunday? Where do you see on the calendar that there's tomorrow? Tomorrow's date is November 7th, which is election day, but is the word tomorrow on the calendar? No. Next week is not on the calendar? No. So none of those words are not dates on the calendar. So setting realistic deadlines, you also have to be specific. So we're going to say, oh, I am going to write my first draft on November 7th. I am going to write my first draft on November 15th. When you do this, this will motivate you to stay on track to finish your projects. So we went over the whole definition of SMART goals, the simplest version that it is. I have a workbook for purchase called SMART Goals for Author. There are more details in the book, including going more into detail about what each of these words means in the acronym. I have planners in your book, planners by the week, planners by the day, planners by the month, planners by the year. I'm helping you break down your project into smaller goals, helping you figure out the who, what, when, where, and whys of your project, which are very important. We all learned who, what, when, where, and why when we were in elementary school, and that is very important to help you figure out how to get your project moving along. So we are at the end of this presentation, and I thank you very much for listening to this presentation. I hope that you guys will take SMART goals very seriously, because something so small can end up helping you with your career and become such a big part of your writing process in your life. You guys can follow me on Instagram at Consult with Sherry. On Instagram, I love to hear from aspiring authors. I love working with you guys, and I just want to wish you all good luck with your journeys. So please, if you have not, please start working on your SMART goals so that you can achieve your career as an author. And again, my name is Sherry Simmons. I will be celebrating 13 years as an author in 2024. And I am so excited to have presented to you my workshop on SMART goals for authors. Look forward to hearing from you guys. Thank you.